So this video is going to help you understand how the before classwork works. The idea, as I've been trying to explain, so now hopefully we'll do a better job by showing you, what you will need to do is actually, again, once you've completed the homework and then you're ready to do your first classwork, and to do that, you have to set up, let's go ahead and click in so this shows. So there's two parts of this, right? There's the steps that you have to do, and then there's the agreement on the code of conduct. And I say code here, and we'll go over what that means. So first in your local repo, let's go ahead and set up, right, a new, because we're in day 3, and this is classwork for day 3, so we're going to set up a new classwork file. And this is something that I think will work, and the reason I like this is that if you're doing classwork ahead of the students in class, and even if you're doing it in students in class, you can determine your level of assistance, right? If you're going to have no assistance to attempt the classwork, which you will be able to see once you submit this, then you'll tell me. And if you plan on using, right, if you're thinking, yeah, I'm just going to use the assistance, then it's 15 off. Now, that means any assistance. That means anywhere, okay? And this may seem a little weird, but the idea is that, this we're going to determine how well the homework is helping you complete the classwork, right? And how well you're translating those skills. That's how and why I'm doing it. So now once you determine your assistance level, then note it in your classwork, which I'll show you how to do. Use stage commit and push this file into your local repo. You're into your private course repo. Yes, you can change your mind. And if you change your mind, just update your classwork and then say that. So you may start out saying, I don't need any assistance. You start working on it and go, you know what, I do. Because here's the deal. I'm asking you to agree to a code of conduct. And the code of conduct says that, I will follow what I've agreed to, and I won't show anybody else the requirements in my code and until that time that we actually do have a discussion in class about that item. Okay, so really important to do it and to understand why I'm doing it as well, because what I'm allowing students to do is to actually do this before the in-class day we do this. And I can tell you, I think that's one, again, you'll hear me say this, my hope and belief is that that's an incentive for you to come to class, because even though asking me questions wouldn't be considered assistance, you could ask clarifying questions, right? But even in class, you could choose to use resources, which is totally fine too. And 15 is not that much off. So now the other thing is you are given an hour. So the hour starts when you do the post to the remote repo, and so we'll walk through that now. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up. Again, this is a repeat of what we've already been doing, so it's all good, right? So I have my folder up here, right? So I'm going to go ahead, I closed it before, I'll go ahead and start Git Bash. Again, I'm on Windows. Mac users, you're using terminal here, right? Always good to remind how we do this, and so we'll do CDE for my particular device, ls, so I'm going to change into the directory. Okay, and then I happen to know already, I'll change into, this directory, and ls here. Cool, so now we're working on week 2 already, so we're already at that level. So we'll go ahead and move back here. So again, you can create files either in your editor of choice or in the command line. I think it's good to know how to do it either way. Okay, so now in day 3 we've already done that homework, so now we're going to do a new file. I'm going to HTML file. We're going to call it Classwork. Again, if you're using WebStorm, you don't have to do the .html. It's automatically added. Cool. And again, it asks you if you want to. I'm going to tell it, remember this. I'm going to say no, because I want you to learn how to do this manually. Okay. All right. So then what do I need to do here? I'm going to say in the body, I'm going to do H1. I'm going to say day 3 classwork. I'm going to say no assistance. Okay, again, if you change your mind, that's totally cool. Don't freak out about this, right? So it's really just my way to see how well we're translating skills. All right, so again, there's a terminal in here, but I am really a fan of using the. I'm going to make this a little smaller. Sorry to take your time here, but just make this a little smaller so I can see back here. Okay, so I'm going to do a Git Status, and I can see there should be something in that. Yep, there it is. Right. So this, by the way, up arrow. Great. Why? Because it actually takes you to commands you've already used. So as an example, like if I wanted to do a git add, which is really nice, can do it that way. I'm using the up arrow, so now I'm going to do a git commit. Now on the git commit, I want to change my message though, right? So in this case, we're going to say preparing to start day 2 classwork, right? Cool. And then that's my commit. So let's see. Do you know without me showing you what's the next stage? What's the next, not stage, wrong word. What's the next step? So Git Push. Okay. So that's great. So it takes it a second here to do the push up to the repo on the GitHub site. So I'm going to come over here and we should see then if I refresh, we will see that now on week 2 I now have that classwork, right? So what you can do here is you can just copy this, and this is what you'll submit to say you're going to start, right? And let me show you how to do this. Submit the file. You're going to give me your, right? There we go. And now you say, yes, I agree with the code of conduct. Excellent. Submit. Okay, so if, and I'm not going to show it to you, but and it's not a big deal. This first one is really basically, I don't mind giving you a little preview. It's basically making a miniaturized version of the CAD app that you got in the HTML and CSS. Okay, so we'll talk more about this concept later, but just for now, that's what that is, right? So now that you've done the push and you've submitted this, your 1 hour begins, right? So that's what I was talking about, is that now your 1 hour to do this work begins. Now, if once you get started, you're like, oh yeah, how do you do maybe this step, right? You can change your mind on the assistance level. So let's just walk through that, right? So in here, in this file, right? By the way, that file should no longer be, let's see if it, yeah, it changed color. I wanted you to see that. So you know you haven't staged and committed a file if it's in red. So maybe I'll say, right? I'll say assistance. That's all you have to say. Assistance or no assistance. That's all you have to say. So now that we've changed it, right, what should happen here is that file should have turned red. I'm not sure why it didn't. Because I changed the file. Maybe it's going to take it a minute, but let's go ahead and go down to our line, right? So this is the now. So now, right? Git status. Right, and we've modified that file. So git add star. Again, you could do the specific file name, but no big deal. So git commit. And by the way, I think it's really good, even though I've shown you the up arrow, when you start, and I'll say changing my level of assistance. Excellent. Git commit. So now, right? And by the way, your clock is ticking now, so that's just something you have to think about. You have 1 hour, but you do have to do the last step, which is git push, right? So that pushes it up, so that tells me that you started in and then you changed your mind. Again, totally okay. Don't stress about this. It's doing the push now, okay? So that you don't have to at this point resubmit this classwork, right? You can, when you resubmit this before classwork, if you've changed your mind, I will see that, and you can note that when you actually do submit the classwork for this item, right? So that's the way you can tell me there, and I'll see it on your commits as well. So it's just good. Again, your code of conduct is that you behave in a way that is consistent with what has been asked for in the class. Okay? All right. Hope this helps you out.